This is a peaceful protest. This is looting. If you loot, the next thing you can try to steal is something off of your food tray at the county jail, because you're going to jail. That's a guarantee. And we're going to enjoy taking you down there.
Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, it is Wednesday, the 23rd of September, and silver is down $1.73 per ounce after being down $2.33 per ounce on Tuesday. Gold is down big at $18.68, and it's just more of the same. Now, it begs the question, why aren't the criminal bankers who sell paper gold and silver in jail? Well, they're not going to jail because JP Morgan has just been ordered to pay a $1 billion settlement over precious metals treasury manipulation and zero hedge notes. A slap on the wrist and all is forgiven. Guys, I'm back on the line. Bob Kudla, the founder of Trade Genius. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, but I have to tell you, my friend, this gets pretty demoralizing when we see the bankers slam real money again and again and again, seemingly at will, year after year after year. This current two-day meltdown here, Bob, reminds me of what happened back in, I think it was 2009 or 10, when on a Sunday night, when silver was at $48 an ounce, they tanked it $6 in Asian trading. $6. It went from 48 to 42 in a flash. It's just more of the same. This is all paper, Bob. It's all paper. None of this is real physical metal.
Right, and I actually was trading then too on silver. We call it the Sunday night bloodbath, but for us, and I think from a macro standpoint, you want to see silver and gold constantly move higher. But when you're trading, we've been expecting this move down because we literally had a move up from $11 on silver up to 30. And our buy zone, actually, we just went back into our buy zone again for silver, between $18 and $21 for a longer term push to $45 by the end of next year. Part of what we're seeing here, Sean, is that the Fed has not been increasing its balance sheet, and the stimulus, now we're having a temper tantrum because the market was down. It was kind of a weird week. It was down on Friday, up Monday, Tuesday, down again on Wednesday. And so everything's kind of selling off right now. And I think it's the storm before the calm of the election. But have heart. I think you're going to find that silver and gold are going to continue their move higher because the Fed are going to have to keep printing. And it's not going to just be gold and silver. Palladium, platinum, uranium, copper, all those will be making their moves.
Yeah, I hear you, man. But I mean, we've been talking about this for a decade, and it just gets pretty demoralizing for the audience, for honest people who are prescient and who made wise decisions to get into precious metals, not be rewarded for their intelligence, as Tesla and Netflix and all this other garbage just goes to the moon every single day. Now, I think those stocks are correcting today, but honestly, it's just been salt in the wound. Meanwhile, let's look at this article. Massive FinCEN leak exposes how biggest Western banks finance drug cartels, terrorists, and mobsters. This is no joke, Bob. We've been talking about it forever. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, Deutsche Bank. Throw out some other criminal banks. Who else is in this mess?
Rick's Bank, HSBC.
HSBC, thank you very much. Scotia Bank. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. The story is well told and worn out. And again, it brings me back to the $1 billion settlement from JP Morgan. Where does that money go? Okay, how about the people, the real investors who have been damaged by this criminality, Bob?
Yeah.
What?
I think the system's going to have to blow up for that to happen.
No, but I'm saying, in a lawsuit, typically those who have been damaged recover their damages. So how come if JP Morgan's paying a $1 billion settlement, that isn't doled out to people who have been absolutely annihilated by their criminality? And a billion doesn't even scratch the surface. A billion is just the tip of the iceberg. But again, the money goes where? Into some black hole? Who gets the $1 billion? Not those who have been damaged, evidently.
No, the feds.
So I guess we just live in a kleptocracy. We've talked about it so many times over the years. Let me ask you this. How have you guys been holding up with Trade Genius? I get the alerts on my phone here. It's been a turbulent couple of days, turbulent week. How have you guys been holding up?
Oh, we're doing just fine. The way our system works is that we have to set aside our biases and our views and just look at the what they call the money flow coming in and out of these stocks. And we just have a system called the ribbon system that allows us to suspend our disbelief, if you will, and just say, okay, silver's going to make another run down. Let's either reduce our size to core or actually even short it and then ride it back up when it moves back up again. But we do that for all the stocks too. We are telling our listeners that at the from Labor Day on, we're going to probably get a 10% correction in the market. We're pushing down to that right now. I think today was a really weird day, and today for us it's Wednesday here. Is that we have a situation where the market tried to lift and then it what's called a dead cat bounce fail. So we could push down another 4 or 5%, and then I think that's going to be done for the election, and then we're just going to just trade in a range. But range trading is what we do best. So we really don't care from a macro standpoint what it does, as long as from the micro standpoint we can catch 3 or 4 or 5 day trades. We just did a trade the other day that 11% one day. We were telling people that it's things like a metronome. Catch it, hop off, go down, hop off, and just keep trading those moves because the market's not trending right now. So we're fine. And if people want to trade with us, they go to tradelikeagenius.com. We did specials for your listeners, like we always do, Sean, and they can just go and get 65% off. Some of the trades people made just Monday and Tuesday paid for 4 or 5 years worth of the service. So it's a really good deal. Just go to tradelikeagenius.com by Saturday. You get the deal, and you can talk with us. You can chat with us. You can email us, and we'll hook you up.
All right, I'll leave a link below, guys. You can check that out. You get the alerts, the trade alerts on your phone with the stop sells, the buy price, all of that good stuff. It makes it easy. All right, Bob, let me read a text. Guys, you might remember my friend Mark S. Mann. I used to have him on. We'd talk about false flag shootings and things of that nature, and he's a smart guy. He asked me today, out of the blue, hadn't heard from him in a while. He said, what is anyone saying about this metals meltdown other than the usual, this is a buying opportunity crap? I've not seen a bashing like this since 2011. I said, funny, I hadn't even looked today, and then I did. I saw that it was down $1.73, and I said, what a load of crap. He says, it's insane. Who would just sell off like that, and for what reason? And I said, it's all paper BS, COMEX, banker, paper. And he said, I know. I'd love to see who's making the trades. Pretty soon it won't matter anymore. When half the country is in flames and there's an issue with confidence in the continuity of our government, the rest of the world's confidence in the dollar will be gone, and that will be one of the final nails in the coffin. I think he might be right about that, Bob. These Democrats are openly talking about rioting and looting never ending if President Trump is reelected. Your thoughts on the election and anything these demonic D's are up to?
Yeah, well, demonic is right. It is amazing to me the anarchy that's actually being openly supported in some of the cities around the country. And I think personally that it's probably going to backfire on the Democrats for the election, but for them that may just be viewed as a battle, and they're going to try to narrow the economy by just trying to burn the whole place down. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think Trump wins, and I think there's going to be a hard reaction against the left's actions, and then I think we're going to probably have an interesting year in 2021 regarding that. Now, regarding the dollar, if I can have an opposing view, is that there's a dollar shortage out there around the world. There's a lot of countries around the world borrowed money in dollars, and they're defaulting on their debt. So it's kind of counterintuitive, and that people think, oh, we're going to go into this economic collapse, the dollar is going to collapse. But what actually happens is that all the other currencies are collapsing faster. And that's why I have heart with gold and silver. Your friend is right. If we lose confidence, they're also going to lose confidence in the paper markets. And it's going to force people into actually owning the physical. And that's why I'm always more interested in owning the miners of those metals, because they're going to move up when the price of the physical metals start to really move. And there's plenty of opportunities in the miners to take advantage of a leveraged bet. You talked about what happened in 2011. The prices before 2011, from 2009, 2011 went up 8x, and then they collapsed it back. That's that. And when the metal prices only went up 2.5x. So when we start seeing failures in the paper market that people are going to demand a physical, you'll see the miners start to separate from the metal prices to the good. And then that's where people are going to really make the money. So that's my view going forward. And they're going to throw all kinds of stimulus money at the economy in 2021. Now, what you said is absolutely right. I think we're going to be living in like a mirror world where one part of the country or portions of a state are going to be an absolute breakdown. And then the rest of the state is going to be doing well. And I think these cities, if you live in a city, you probably want to get out, and if you live in a state where you're not going to be supported by a governor, then and you need to just take a hard look if this is where you want to be. Because I think it's going to be really hyper localized, but where it's going to happen is going to be absolutely unbearable to live.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I tend to agree. If you live in one of these cities, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, New York City, LA, where your dictator-in-chief is one of these D mayors and or a D governor, they don't have your back, friends. They are in the pocket of the deep state. They want looting, they want violence, they want rioting, they want lockdowns, they want economic calamities that they can blame on President Trump, thereby trying to prevent him from being reelected. I don't think it's working at all, Bob. I think this whole thing is blown up in their face. I mean, look at the exodus from New York City. People want out of that hellhole. Look at California. Joe Rogan, of course, he gets his $100 million payout from Spotify. He doesn't want to pay California state taxes, so he moved to Texas. And the exodus from California is growing by the day. People don't want to live under this tyranny, Bob.
I totally agree with you. And, I think this is a secular move, too. I think you're going to see a move from the cities to the burbs. You're going to see the move from these northern states to the sunshine states. You're going to see, basically a move from the wealthy, into these state exempt tax states to protect their wealth. There's a reason why a lot of people live in Wyoming up there at Jackson Hole. And people are now taking a hard look at like what's happening in the Black Hills of South Dakota, where there's no state income tax, and Texas and Florida for sure, and Tennessee. So I think you're going to see people trying to protect their wealth during this grab. I mean, look at Illinois. They're going to try to do a progressive income tax. All it does is it forces the rich out. And in California, the top 5% pay the top 50% they pay 50% of the taxes. So, if they bail out or they force a stock market crash, these states are going bankrupt. And that's, I think, what people missed on this whole thing. I think they pushed all the chips in, Sean. This whole, let's go with the virus. Let's blame Trump. Let's shut everything down. Let's blame Trump for the shutdown. And then what we're going to do is we're going to demand money from the federal government for them to bail out all our bad bets that we did. And they didn't count on Trump just holding the line. And then the violence, I think they didn't expect the reaction from the people with the protests / turn into this mob rioting. I think it scared the heck out of a lot of people, and it blew up in the Democrats' face. And everything they've touched this year on the Democrat side has just turned to crap. So they don't have any other playbook. They went all in on racism, all in on sexism, all in on violence, all in on anarchy, all in on blame Trump. And the American people saying, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, so I don't believe you. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the election night and the days after are going to be handled, because I think that's going to be a tell going into 2021.
I want to play a clip for you here in just 1 second, but before I do that, before I forget, did you feel the way I felt when you heard that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away? I mean, what a biblical timing for this to happen. Well, President Trump is still president and can constitutionally nominate a constitutional-loving Supreme Court justice. And I think it's probably going to be Amy Barrett, a constitutional-loving woman with 7 children, 2 of whom are adopted from Haiti and are black. But the Democrats will hate her anyway, ... because ... abortion, Bob.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said, oh, God still loves us. And, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, if she truly was what felt about her country, she should have stepped down 6 or 8 months ago. She needed to do the right thing earlier. She tried to, outlast the election here so that she can put her lasting mark from her mortal coil here onto our politics. But again, it didn't work out. I think what I'm reading now is that McConnell has the votes. I think the Democrats screwed up again by saying we're going to pack the court and we're going to what was the other thing, to impeach Trump. So like McConnell's probably saying to his Republican counterpart, saying, hey, we have nothing to lose here by putting this jurist on. In fact, this is the only probably thing that's going to stop the tide of a crazy potential Biden, Democrat sweep, if it ever occurred, from destroying the country. So, and I love the woman, she's fantastic. So they're only down to abortion on her, and she's quick as a whip. So it'd be really interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I do think you're right. The Senate has the votes. Even that turncoat Romney appears to be on board, which is good news, because as you guys know, on the Supreme Court right now, sure, there's technically a majority of conservatives, but John Roberts can't be trusted. I mean, I think, look, there's a name on the Epstein flight log that is John Roberts. Now, we don't know if it's that John Roberts. Would it surprise you a bit, Bob?
No, I think he's compromised in some way, shape, or form.
All right, let's get back to rule of law. I want to play this clip for you guys if you haven't seen it. It's fantastic. This is a Florida sheriff, and this is all the American people want to hear, Bob. This is all we want. This is why we have government at all. This is why police exist at all, to protect our rights and our liberties. Listen to this Florida sheriff.
This is a peaceful protest. This is a riot. We can tell the difference. The governor can tell the difference. Our law enforcement officers can tell the difference. In the event you didn't get that, let me show you something. This is a peaceful protest. This is looting. If you loot, the next thing you can try to steal is something off of your food tray at the county jail, because you're going to jail. That's a guarantee. And we're going to enjoy taking you down there. Some people are slow learners. This is peaceful protest. This is violence. It's not acceptable.
All right, Bob, I'll come back to you. But look, that's all the American people wanted to hear from these mayors in Portland, in Seattle, in Chicago, de Blasio in New York City. All he had to do was get on live TV and say just that, and I would have been on board with him going just a bit further and stating explicitly that business owners are allowed to be armed, they're allowed to protect their businesses, and anybody who breaks into those businesses, however the chips fall after that, the governor, the mayors would be on the side of the business owners, right? Shoot to defend your life, liberty, and property. But no, the Democrats have sold out their constituents completely.
I saw that Florida thing. That was just fantastic. Yeah, I think people, the Maslow, level of hierarchy, safety is paramount for people. And if people don't feel safe, they're going to be drawn to somebody who's going to guarantee safety. And Trump has staked that out. And I think he's going to, win the election based on that. And, these people are so transparently, disgusting, thinking that this is what the people want. That they think this is a short-term pain for some sort of socialist utopia gain. I don't think that people are buying it.
All right, just a couple more items here. New Epstein flight log subpoena to reveal every passenger on the Lolita Express. That must leave some elite pedos absolutely terrified that their name or names will surface. So we'll keep an eye on that story. But let's go back to stimulus. You talked about the Fed providing stimulus. Stimulus means money printing, friends. Where does this end? Now, according to this article, in an unprecedented monetary overhaul, the Fed is preparing to deposit digital dollars directly to each American. So on top of the trillions and trillions of stimulus we've seen just over the past couple of years, now they're talking about dropping digital dollars into the accounts of Americans. You got to tell me, man, how is it that silver and gold, well, we know. Silver and gold are manipulated to try to break the barometer that silver and gold are supposed to be, and that warn people of inflation and potential hyperinflation of the monetary system.
Yeah, I mean, and also this is the way in which they're going to try to go cashless at some point. And then if you think censorship was bad, wait till they block your bank account because you have the wrong political view. But yeah, the banks are dead though. I mean, if they have to go straight, putting money straight into the account, I mean, they're bypassing government and they're bypassing the banks. The Federal Reserve now has become queen mother here. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this plays out. Long term, this should scare the heck out of everybody because now you're going to be beholden to a non-elected international organization that's going to provide your ability to survive or block your ability to survive because they may push you out of the banking system. So that's another reason why people are attracted to the cryptocurrency ecosystem, because it currently sits outside of the banking system. So, but I have faith. I think as they start spending again, we're going to get another surge. We did hit all-time highs in gold. So it's not like they can win forever, and then we'll push back and we'll do it again. So yeah, that's so funny with the Lolita Express. I agree.
You see that? Yeah, I wanted to circle back to that. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, no, it's okay. I laughed. Lolita Express next to gold bullion.
Yeah. Well, it just kills me because these are the people that want to continue to rule over us. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton has told Biden not to concede on election night no matter what, because they want to keep counting magical mail-in ballots in perpetuity until they can manufacture a win for Biden. And then, when President Trump disputes that magical ballot counting, they want the military Bob to go in and remove him. This is openly being pitched by people like General Mattis and Colin Powell. I mean, these people are so seditious and so treacherous, and they traffic in children. FBI agent who discovered Hillary's emails on Wiener laptop claims he was told to erase the computer. FBI agent John Robertson, the man who found Hillary Clinton's emails on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, claims he was advised by bosses to erase his own computer. Former FBI Director James Comey, you may recall, announced days before the 2016 presidential election that he had learned of the existence of the emails on Weiner's laptop. Weiner is the disgraced husband of Clinton aide Huma Abedin. Again, another connection between pedo activity and the Clintons. Huma Abedin married to Weiner, and Huma Abedin, the right hand of Hillary Clinton. It's said that on that computer, Bob, was video of pedo-related activities that potentially, allegedly involved Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, and we don't know what Ghislaine Maxwell is giving up here, since she's been captured. Maybe she cut a deal. All I know is I see around the country now, a lot of these sex trafficking locations are getting rolled up. So hopefully maybe we're going to dig deeper and deeper. And maybe this whole thing is a black op against Hillary saying, hey, we got rid of the laptop, and see if we're going to force people into, revealing things. So I think at the end of the day, I think people now are thoroughly disgusted. And I don't think they can hide in the shadows anymore.
Well, I said to my wife last night, we went out for a bite to eat, and we were talking a little bit about some of this stuff, Epstein-related stuff, and I said, you realize that none of this would happen, none of this would have come out, none of this would be public knowledge, in my view, if Hillary Clinton had made it to the White House. So I think we're very blessed to have this type of awakening happening, and I know it's painful, guys. It's been a tough road to hoe. We know it's only going to get tougher moving into the November election because the demonic D's want to steal it. Literally, they want to steal it and implement a Biden presidency. Can you even imagine, final word, Bob, can you imagine Biden in the White House? Obviously, he doesn't have the faculties to actually be commander-in-chief. He would literally be a figurehead.
Yeah, I mean, it would say a lot about our country if people felt that, hiring a person that should be in a long-term care facility should have his finger on the pulse of the nuclear weapons of our country. That would be a sad state of affair. I have more confidence that the American people are seeing through this, and I'm hopeful for a Trump victory here in November.
Yeah, I think it's baked in the cake. The only problem is they are truly going to try to steal it, so we're going to have to just remain vigilant. If they want to induce a shooting war, that is what they will induce if they try a coup against this president. That's my view and my prediction. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it very well may, and it's because the left is so crooked that they will stop at nothing, including potentially a military coup to get what they want, which is globalist governance of this nation and over the American people. Bob, I really appreciate your time. I will leave the link to Trade Genius below. What is the special offer again this month? Can you remind us?
Yeah, so go to tradelikeagenius.com. We put 6 bundles together. They're right on the website. So if you're new or if you're an experienced trader, crypto or stock or even futures trading, you can go select one of those bundles. They're pre-discounted, or you can go hit the back to school button and buy anything individually as a coupon code if you just want to mix and match different services that we offer. But you have till Saturday to take advantage of it. Okay. Tradelikeagenius.com.
Okay, very good. I will leave the link below, guys. I want to thank you for your time, Bob, and we'll talk again next month.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You know how much we appreciate it. Stay tuned. I do have public interviews coming with Dr. Dave Janda and with Colonel Black and my friend Harley Schlanger talking about this potential coming coup, the military coup, which is openly being discussed in deep state circles. So stay tuned for those interviews coming still this month. And for the exclusives, you guys are going to want to tune into sgtreport.tv or become a patron. A special shout out to my supporters who are doing just that. And for real news, guys, visit us directly at sgtreport.com, the antidote to corporate propaganda. God bless. Bye-bye.
Where then lies the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all, that you and I have the courage to tell our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which evil must not advance. In the words of Reagan, evil is powerless if the good are unafraid.